So Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com says there's a real chance that the Browns will keep all 4 quarterbacks for much or all of the season. Here's the reasoning why this is a real possibility. First of all, their contracts. The base salary for their contracts, that meaning Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, is a total of a little more than $7.6 million in cap space for all 4. You talk about bang for your buck. Bang for your buck at the quarterback position. You can get 4 guys for under $8 million against the cap, VAR. Talk about that.
Well, I mean, that's great. That's wonderful. So what are you going to do? Like play, what's that, Baccarat with them? Or, what? How is that? You put them in a little cup, shake them up, shoot them out, throw them out and see which one pops up.
That's like walking into the dollar store with a 20. You're making it rain. Just
like, to me,
I'll take whatever I want here.
Money! What is this? Again, all right. Unless you're able to really figure out a way to develop the younger guys, if you're not going to play them right away, I feel like it's almost a waste of time. And here's why I'll say that. And if you're going to play Joe Flacco, you're playing Joe Flacco because you believe you can win right now. Would there be any other thought process behind that, Jonas?
No, yeah, he gives you the best chance right now to win.
Okay. If you were to play Kenny Pickett, if just say for one moment that Rob Parker was actually right about something, right? And they decided that Kenny Pickett is supposed to be the starter. This is who they want by Rob Parker's words when he was going at me. That Kenny Pickett is who they brought in to be the starter. Well, as someone who kind of knows maybe a little bit more about it than Rob Parker, and even though I am a former athlete that is in media, I do a lot of homework and actually do a lot of journalistic business, when I'm away from the camera and away from the microphone. My research would say that it makes absolutely 0 sense to expect and project that Kenny Pickett should be the one that you want as your starter. Thus, the results of drafting not one, but drafting 2 quarterbacks in the draft. So you don't look at Kenny Pickett as a now quarterback. And I don't know that you look at Kenny Pickett as a then, after now, later on. I don't know that you look at Kenny Pickett as your starter, that you want to be your starter. So then that says to me, you're tanking. If Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco are your quarterbacks for Cleveland, there's a strong possibility outside of Flacco, you could possibly win with Flacco because he's proven that he can win. But I don't know that with Kenny Pickett.
And one of the other things that Mary Kay Cabot points out that kind of lends to your point as well too is that they're going to be able to kick the tires on these quarterbacks, but it's also with an eye towards next year because it's a better draft class from all accounts. And they've got 2 first-rounders because of the deal they did with the Jaguars for Travis Hunter. They acquired a second first-rounder, and they're also going to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster that potentially could field them.
You have 5 quarterbacks on your roster.
Well, they've got 4.
You have 4 actives.
They've got 4 quarterbacks and a weirdo. So I don't know that necessarily counts towards the QB room. But one of the thoughts that Mary Kay Cabot pointed out was keeping all 4 of these guys does give them the ability to trade them at some point during the regular season if there's a team out there that becomes quarterback needy. Either way, and by the way, who is Rob Parker? I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm unfamiliar.
I'm messing that. That's cat, though. I was playing. I was messing around. Rob Parker is a very well-respected, super dope dude in media for a long time.
I had a glizzy in my mouth.
Oh, jeez. Listen, they got these. I heard there's a new product out that for people who are embarrassed to eat glizzies these days, it's called like a glizzy holder.
Really?
And it blocks you putting it in your mouth, you know.
Really?
It's 2025 though, man. Embrace it. shove that glizzy right in your mouth. Hey, but look, here's the thing I wanted to get to though.
Well, I just wanted to make mention of this.
Go
Lee, could you look up what a glizzy is, like the actual definition of it? Also, this whole situation. So they've got 4 quarterbacks who count for under $8 million on the cap. They're looking towards the future. And they're going to keep these guys for potential draft capital some point during the season. All this means is it goes back to the point that we've been making this entire time. Kevin Stefanski is in an awful situation. This is a terrible spot to be in. And it all goes back to Jimmy Haslam, who wanted to give Deshaun the money he gave him and give up all the picks to get him, and then decided, you know what? Let's go ahead. Let's get Joe Flacco in. Let's trade for Kenny Pickett. And while we're at it, why don't we draft 2 quarterbacks 2 rounds apart? Neither one of them in the first round, though. Like, let's go take that approach.
I guess, and I was about to give you a whole bunch of reasoning for all 4 of them, but I'm glad you frameworked it like that, because don't you just get the conclusion of it is this? Just the quick and simple of it, Jonas, is that none of these guys are bona fide for sures. Yep, that's the guy.
Yeah, none of them.
And listen, I understand that everybody is high on Shador, and maybe that's accurate. Maybe you should be, all right? But you still cannot gloss over the fact that he went in the 5th round. I just cannot gloss over it, just breeze by it, cruise by it, ignore it. You know, like when your engine light comes on, for some reason, you get to a point where you just ignore it. Like, engine light is on. Like, that always happens, right? But sometimes you get caught up. It's going to be that one time you get caught up that you didn't pay attention to it. I got to pay attention to the fact that they took him in the 5th round. So to me, when you look at all these quarterbacks, and you can include Deshaun Watson, you got 5 quarterbacks on your roster, and none of them are bona fides to make your team a better team for this upcoming season. Not one single player that's listed on that quarterback roster is a bona fide, yep, this is the guy to make us better for this year. So to me, if you're keeping all 4 of them, so what? Who cares? That's your quarterback situation. The best reasoning is what you probably said, that Mary Cabot reported, is that you're holding them for a trade situation. Okay. But what is the ultimate goal for your team? That's cute. You got guys that Dylan Gabriel is maybe undersized, but it's not a horrible name. It's not a horrible name. Won the Big Ten. Played well, was highly sought after in the portal. They brought him to Oregon. It worked out. He can play. You know, Shador Sanders, he can play. Kenny Pickett, the few opportunities that we got to see Kenny Pickett play in Pittsburgh, it wasn't good enough for him to still be in Pittsburgh, seeing if he's the franchise guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That says a lot. He didn't even make it out of his rookie contract. That says a lot. And Joe Flacco is old, and Deshaun Watson is off somewhere with a towel and getting engaged and worrying about other things. Maybe he's gotten that all together now. But the bottom line is, what is your ultimate goal as the Cleveland Browns for this season? Which goes to your point about Stefanski. Where does this leave Stefanski? It could be some wholesale changes that take place. You're potentially seeing the end of tenures as coaches in the AFC North, at least 50% of them. At least, and it could be more. It could be more. You could be talking about up to 3 teams could be potentially looking for a new head coach in the AFC North after this season.
Stefanski's got to be the windshield to all of Jimmy Haslam's mistakes at quarterback. It's just like, okay, dude, Like I'm the one who's got to wear this, apparently. By the way, Deshaun Watson still has me blocked. I don't understand this. This is unfortunate. I don't know what we did to him.